What's going on, family? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how Cory and Eric's drastic dynamic shift changed Boy Meets World. So in this show, Eric is the older brother of the main character, Cory. And if you've never seen this show, it's basically a coming-of-age story from the 90s that focuses on Cory as he navigates through life, his relationship with his friends, his family, and his development from an adolescent child to a married young man. So in this video, we're basically doing a deep dive into the parallels between Cory and Eric's relationship, how it went from in season 3, Cory disassociating himself from Eric because he never felt like he had an older brother before Eric leaves for college.
You ignore me.
We do stuff together.
Yeah, only when you're stuck. I mean, you never actually did anything with me because you wanted to.
All the way up to season 7, where now, Eric feels as though Cory doesn't involve him in his life anymore.
It's about the fact that you shut me out of your life a long time ago.
That's not true.
Let's look at it this way. We used to do stuff together, and now we don't.
Yeah, we do.
When?
We're going to talk about how this drastic shift affected the show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's get into this.
She's a runner, she's a track star.
So guys, before we can make sense of this drastic dynamic shift within their relationship, you need to understand each character's individual growth and how it would have an effect on one another. In season 1, Eric, was the typical athletic, girl-obsessed older brother that, was just too cool for Cory. His character didn't set himself apart from the rest, and his uncaring and almost perfect persona made him feel out of touch with the audience. So the writers of the show needed to give Eric a certain uniqueness and an edge, so viewers could care more about him. And that came with Eric not getting into college, facing the adversity of not being good enough to be accepted, overcoming those challenges that life threw at him, by not giving up and retaking his SAT exam, and ultimately gaining a sense of humility, because we see him being so hard on himself for feeling like a failure to evidently getting into college as a result of getting back up when life knocked him down, which we can all relate to, you feel me? Without this vulnerability in Eric's character, the audience would never have been able to respect Eric as a solid character, right? So y'all, in season 4, Eric's character changes so much drastically by becoming more silly and less intelligent. This pivoted the show's direction, because as the show grew with its audience and dealt with more serious issues, this allowed Eric to become the comic relief, you feel me? And because of Will Friedle's wide comedic range and razor sharp wit, he was able to become that unique character the audience grew to love, while adding a very much needed upbeat tone to the show. So let's talk about Cory, right? So season 1 Cory starts out, as an average sarcastic baseball loving slacker who tends to butt heads with his no nonsense teacher, Mr. Feeney. Right, Cory, he's meant to be portrayed as a typical naive and dismissive adolescent who slowly learns from the lessons of his actions. Each episode teaches him. His relationship with his brother Eric is pretty distant because of their age gap, and their separate interests don't align with each other's. And Eric, he's the typical older brother that wants nothing to do with, his dorky younger brother that makes him look uncool in high school. From Cory's perspective, up until now, Eric has driven a wedge in between them, and because of their distinguished interests, that's why it's no shocker in the season 3 finale, shit hits the fan when Cory refuses to celebrate Eric's pre-college summer road trip. This episode focused on the anger Cory harbored for never feeling like he ever had a brother in the first place.
I'm gonna be out of here in a week, and you're gonna have the entire room to yourself.
I've always had this room to myself.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on, Eric. The way you treat me and you gotta ask? You ignore me. You never actually did anything with me because you wanted to. It's my brother Eric, who's moving out, and I don't even know him. And now I probably never will. Goodbye.
Which then results in a fight between Cory and Eric, and Eric then later finds out he doesn't get into college.
I didn't get in.
And in an attempt to build a better bond with Cory, he invites him on his summer road trip.
2 months on the road. Can't think anybody else I'd rather share the car with.
It's gonna be a summer we'll never forget.
The college road trip arc definitely affected the course of their relationship, and you can tell their bond grows stronger, especially with examples of Eric, always being there for Cory whenever he's going through hardships with Topanga. But we begin to notice after Cory gets into college and he gets engaged with Topanga, his bond with Eric seems less important to him. In the season 7 episode Brotherly Shove, Cory and Eric have to clean out their garage, but Eric arrives and is heartbroken when he finds Sean and Topanga there. For Eric, this sight highlights how much more important Sean and Topanga seem to Cory rather than his own brother. You know, in this whole episode, Eric's vibe is just off, and he refuses to make amends with Cory because he doesn't truly believe Cory understands where he's coming from. You know, so when Cory attempts to cherish all their happy memories, Eric decides to sell all their mementos in a garage sale for a low price out of spite. So after a huge fist fight at the garage sale, Cory has a heart-to-heart talk with Eric at the hospital. You know, once again, he tries to make amends with Eric, but Eric shuts him down because he doesn't need his pity. You know, now that the tables have turned, Eric now is the one who feels estranged from Cory because they never hang out like they used to, and Cory only sees him as his older brother and not his friend.
We're brothers, okay?
You know what? No, you're right. No, we're brothers. We're not friends. You know, it means you don't have to like me, and you don't.
You know, that whenever Cory does spend time with Eric, it feels more like a task than a desire. At the end of the episode, Topanga reminds Cory of how important Eric was in his life, and you know, when they were younger, how much he cherished spending time with Eric. Topanga makes Cory realize that getting older is not an excuse for shutting your sibling out of your life. And the episode ends with a silent consensus between Cory and Eric, similar to the understanding between Drake and Josh at the end of the Josh is Done episode. Sidebar, y'all, wasn't it so satisfying to see Eric come back as Plays with Squirrels on Girl Meets World, reuniting with Cory? Like, that shit was just amazing. Watching this episode confirmed to me how great the writing of Boy Meets World was. If you've been paying attention to the show from the beginning, then you would immediately notice that this episode was intentional. Comparing the two parallels of Cory in season 3 never feeling like Eric included him in his life, to now Eric feeling what Cory felt in the past, this speaks volumes for their character development, because this parallel would have never been able to work if their characters didn't drastically change over the years. This writing was one example of why Boy Meets World is considered such a cult classic. Not only does this show age with its core audience, but it also changes the way you view the show as it runs. As the show matures and faces new life lessons each season, so do we in our own personal lives. And that level of relatability makes us feel like we're a part of the show and that we're growing with the characters. So if you haven't watched Boy Meets World, I would highly recommend it. Top tier show. Thank you guys for making it all the way to the end of my video. If you enjoyed that content, please make sure you subscribe. We on the road to 10K, you feel me? Make sure you like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section down below what other shows you want me to talk about, any other topics, anything you guys want me to do. Let me know. The last video that I dropped on my channel is gonna be somewhere on the screen. It's gonna be in the comment section, so make sure you don't miss out on that. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Love.
Is that too obvious? Okay, I like your confidence. Oh, that's what could come is okay. Like Kalani is Roger like Kalani is okay.